Hey there, Broncos country. Look, Denver Broncos family, what just happened after the bye week is going to make you rethink everything about this season. And no, I'm not exaggerating. Sean Payton just dropped a bomb about our team's future, and if you're Broncos country for real, you need to understand how much is at stake right now. Because look, we're sitting at 9 wins and 2 losses, leading the division in position to fight for a playoff seed. But there are 2 things that could throw all of this in the trash. And the head coach himself admitted it straight up. Have you ever stopped to think about this? Why would a team with an incredible record, coming off a dominant streak, suddenly stop everything and have the coach say, "There's a serious problem to solve"? Well, that's exactly what happened. Payton gathered the roster on Monday after the bye week and got straight to the point. No beating around the bush, no empty motivational speeches. He showed the numbers, put reality on the table, and made it clear, either we fix these 2 things or the season goes down the drain. And look, before I reveal what these 2 areas are that are keeping our commander up at night, let me ask you something. Do you really think you can go far in the playoffs making the same mistakes every week? Because that's exactly what's happening. And Payton knows time is running out to fix it. Now, let's get to what matters. The first area that's killing the Denver Broncos, and look, I'm not using that word lightly, is penalties. That's right, family. And when I say it's killing us, it's because the numbers are absolutely alarming. Listen to this. The Denver Broncos are the most penalized team in the entire NFL this season. This isn't speculation. These are concrete facts that hurt. 93 accepted penalties against the team, league leader, 883 yards lost to penalties. Again, league leader. And check out this most impressive stat. 113 total flags thrown, including declined and offsetting penalties. Broncos country, this is the mark of a disorganized team, an undisciplined team, a team that won't go far in January. And Payton knows this better than anyone. The coach was surgical when talking about it. He said, if you ask, what's the lowest hanging fruit that needs to be picked to improve our chances of getting the best possible playoff seed, the answer is obvious. Penalties. And look, when a guy of Sean Payton's caliber, with a Super Bowl ring on his finger, with years of experience, says something like that, it's because things are really bad. But wait, because it gets worse. You know what's weighing most heavily in all this? Defensive pass interference. The Denver Broncos have been called for defensive pass interference 14 times this season. 14! That's the highest number in the entire league. And meanwhile, the team has only benefited from this type of penalty 6 times. 6 versus 14. Can you see the problem here? And check out how absurd this is. The team has 190 negative yards just from pass interference. That represents the majority of the total negative differential of 227 penalty yards for the season. It's like we're playing with one hand tied behind our backs every game. How do you expect to compete for a title like this? And there's more. Since Week 5, the Denver Broncos have already had 3 games with 121 or more yards lost to penalties. 3 games. Whereas in the last 10 years, the team had only had 4 such games total. Do you understand the severity of the situation? What was the exception became the rule. What was rare became routine. And this can't continue. Riley Moss, our cornerback, has been one of the main targets of the refs, and Payton even acknowledged that sometimes it's technique, other times it's the traffic created by covering an elite cornerback on the other side. But look, family, reality is harsh. We have to improve. We can't keep making excuses. It doesn't matter if you agree with the call or not. What matters is that the flag was thrown and the yards were lost. Now, let's move to the second critical area, and this one is even more concerning because it directly affects the scoreboard. I'm talking about the turnover margin, the famous giveaway-takeaway, the difference between balls lost and balls recovered. And the Denver Broncos numbers in this regard? Leave a lot to be desired, Broncos country. Listen to this. 9 takeaways, meaning 9 times the defense managed to take the ball from the opponent. Against 12 giveaways, 12 times the offense handed possession over on a silver platter to the opposing team. That's a negative differential of 3, -3 for the season. And check out this terrible stat. This puts the Denver Broncos as having the 12th worst turnover differential in the entire NFL. Payton was clear in saying that last week the team finished +1 in turnover margin, and that meant a lot. He even has said they were close to finishing +2, but in important games that single possession can be the difference between victory and defeat. And family, he's absolutely right. How many games have you seen turn around because of a fumble at the wrong time? How many matches have been decided by an interception at a crucial moment? And there's a pattern that Payton identified that should make everyone in Broncos country raise a red flag. The Denver Broncos are 5 wins and 1 loss when the defense forces a turnover. 5-1. But when the defense doesn't manage to take the ball from the opponent, 0 wins and 3 losses. 0-3. Do you see how important this is? And more. When the team wins or ties the turnover battle, it's 5 wins and no losses. 5-0. But when they lose that battle, 0 wins and 4 losses. 0-4. The numbers don't lie, family. They scream a truth that can't be ignored. If the Denver Broncos don't protect the ball on offense and don't force mistakes on defense, there won't be any playoffs. There won't be a high seed. There won't be anything. Payton even mentioned that elite teams in league history managed to win even while losing the turnover battle, but he made it clear that those teams' margin of error was very different from the margin of error the Denver Broncos have now. Translation: those teams had rosters so dominant they could afford to lose 1 or 2 balls and still win. Our team doesn't have that luxury. We need to win every battle on every front to have a real chance. And look, Denver Broncos family, I know it might seem pessimistic to talk about these things when the team is 9-2, when we're leading the division by 2 games, when we're half a game away from the first seed in the conference. But that's precisely why this conversation is important now. It's better to face the harsh reality head-on now than to pretend everything's fine and fall apart in the playoffs. Because what's coming won't be easy, Broncos country. Look at the schedule. Green Bay Packers at 7 wins, 3 losses, and a tie. Jacksonville Jaguars at 7-4. Kansas City Chiefs at 6-5, Los Angeles Chargers at 7-4, 4 teams that are all fighting for playoff spots, 4 teams that will play with knives in their teeth, 4 teams that will exploit every mistake we make. If we keep committing 10 penalties per game, handing the ball to the opponent at crucial moments, it doesn't matter how good Bo Nix is, it doesn't matter how dominant our defense is in other aspects, it won't work. And Payton knows this. That's why he gathered the team, put the cards on the table, showed the numbers, and made it clear. It's now or never. And you know what's most impressive about all this? It's that the Denver Broncos have already improved in some penalty areas. There are 11 teams in the league with more pre-snap penalties than us, for example. But there are other areas that continue to be terrible problem spots. And until those spots are fixed, the team won't be able to reach its maximum potential. Troy Franklin, our receiver, talked about Monday's meeting and made it clear that Payton put all the information in front of the roster. He showed where the team can get to, what the options are, what the opportunities are. But he also made clear what the obstacles in the way are. And family, these 2 obstacles, penalties and turnovers, are mountains that need to be climbed if we want to get where we want to go. Now, let me ask you a question, Broncos country. Do you think the team will be able to fix this in time? Because look, it's not impossible. We have a coach who's already won everything there is to win in this league. We have a rookie quarterback who's playing like a veteran. We have a defense that, when it's locked in, is one of the best in the conference. We have the pieces. What's missing is discipline. What's missing is execution. What's missing is ball security. And if you're Broncos country for real, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single play of this journey toward the playoffs. Because the next games will define not only if we're going to the playoffs, but what position we'll get there in. And everyone knows that in the playoffs, seeding matters. Home field advantage matters. Playing at home at Mile High with that altitude, with that crowd, could be the difference between going to the Super Bowl or going home early. Payton is building something special in Denver, don't doubt it. The guy took a team that was lost, without identity, without direction, and in less than 2 seasons transformed it into a real playoff contender. But now comes the hardest part, sustaining it, taking it to the next level, transforming a playoff team into a Super Bowl team. And for that to happen, these 2 critical areas need to be fixed yesterday. Because family, you know what January in the NFL is like. You know what playoff games are like. One holding call at the wrong time, and there goes an entire drive. One fumble at a crucial moment, and there goes the game. One interception when you're winning by a field goal and trying to close out the game, and there goes the season. In the playoffs, there's no margin for error. There's no second half of the regular season. It's all or nothing. It's win or go home. And the Denver Broncos have everything to make noise in the playoffs. They have an offense that when it clicks is explosive. They have a defense that when it's disciplined is suffocating. They have special teams that can change games. They have high-level coaching. But they have to fix these 2 things. They have to stop giving free yards to opponents. They have to stop handing over the ball on a silver platter. You know what the good news in all this is? These are controllable things. We're not talking about lack of talent. We're not talking about lack of players. We're talking about discipline, execution, care. These are things that can be coached, that can be corrected, that can be improved. And with a coach like Sean Payton, who's obsessed with details, who's a maniac about preparation, who's already proven he knows how to fix problems, I'm confident the team will turn things around. But it won't be easy, Broncos country. It will require focus. It will require commitment. It will require every player to buy in and execute their role to perfection. It will require the defense to be smarter in coverage to avoid those silly penalties. It will require the offense to protect the ball like it's gold. It will require everyone to understand that in the playoffs, any mistake can be fatal. And look, I know the team has already shown character this season, shown resilience, shown the ability to win tough games. But now comes the real test. Now comes the home stretch, where every game matters not just to make the playoffs, but to define where you'll play when you get there. And believe me, it makes all the difference to play at home or have to travel in January to the freezing cold of some stadium in the East. So Denver Broncos family, that's it. Sean Payton identified the team's 2 biggest problems: excessive penalties and negative turnover margin. These are serious problems that can end the season if they're not corrected. But they're also problems that are within our reach to solve. They don't depend on luck. They don't depend on the refs. They depend on us, on execution, on discipline, on care. So, Broncos country, what do you think? Will the team be able to fix these 2 areas in time to make a deep playoff run? Or will these flaws end up costing us the season? Comment below with your opinion. Drop a like if you want to see the Denver Broncos go to the Super Bowl. Share with that friend who's also part of the family. And stay tuned to the channel because the next games are going to be absolutely crucial. Let's go together, Broncos country. Until the next video.